All right, welcome to the AI office hours. This is something new that I'm trying. As soon as I publish an article, I'm going to go in here and we can talk about the stuff that I'm covering in that, or just share an update on other things I've written about recently. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I just sent out my newsletter, and I'm hoping that some folks will come in to join. And if people enjoy this, then it's something that I can do more often. If you're watching this after the fact, I'll try to keep it interesting, try to keep it compelling, and share a bunch about what I am up to in the world of AI. We can talk about generative engine optimization, which is certainly something that everybody seems to want to hear about these days. We can talk about again the contents of my actual recent article, and you can put your questions, if you're watching this live, into the chat. So the topic of my article today in Fast Company is about the right and wrong way to use AI at work. And I'm going to just drop it in the chat. It's in the newsletter again, if you're joining in here. And basically, the concept here is that there's this new study out from Stanford University where they actually looked at the right ways and the wrong ways and how people are using AI in the workforce today. And what they found is that basically the right way to use AI is very different from what especially a lot of emerging AI companies are actually offering on the market. And it might account for why the AI usage has kind of lagged behind AI innovation. So you have a lot of companies developing new AI tools, you have a lot of innovation happening in the AI space. But then when you look at the actual data on how those things are being implemented within big companies, what you find is that only about 14% of large companies are actually deploying AI in anything like a meaningful way. And that data comes from Goldman Sachs. They did a big study, and again, less than 20% of large companies are really doing anything substantive with AI. But at the same time, there's over $100 billion being poured into AI just by large tech companies. There's a huge amount of investment happening and showing up all over the US economy. And there's actually data that suggests that if not for all the AI investment that's happening, that the US economy would actually be in a recession at the moment. So basically, AI is the only thing saving us at the moment from a bigger downturn. So again, there seems to be this weird mismatch, right, between what's happening in terms of investment and then what's happening in the real world of people actually implementing and using this technology in the workforce. And the authors of the study looked at 1,500 different workers. So they interviewed people and they actually looked at the specific tasks that those people do in the office. And there's this very cool government database, basically, where it lists all the jobs and all the stuff that people do within those jobs. And they looked at, for all of those people and all of those jobs, basically, which tasks can be automated with AI these days. And they asked people which tasks they wanted AI to automate. And the results were really interesting because it was kind of different from there was a difference in some cases between what people wanted and what the AI was actually capable of doing. And then there were some tasks that people would prefer not to have AI automate. So things like, coming up with creative ideas, people don't want to hand that off to an AI. Some things they desperately want to hand off to an AI, like scheduling meetings with clients, is one thing that really came up a lot in this Stanford study. People don't want to have to do that themselves. They would love to hand it off to an AI. But for some tasks, the AI can do it. Data entry, reformatting data, it's very good at that. Some tasks, the AI struggles, that people do want it to replace. And then some tasks, the AIs that are out there right now are not really able to do it or can do it, but people don't want that task to be done with AI. It's something they prefer to do themselves. And again, those are more like creative ideation kinds of oriented tasks. And what the Stanford researchers found is that very few of the tasks that AI companies are trying to replace with AI are in this what they call green light territory of things that people want automated that the AI is actually capable today of automating. Most tasks either fall into the category of basically a problem nobody asked AI to solve, or into a category of something where people would love to hand it off to AI, but the AI is not actually able to do it yet. And they found that probably about 60% of AI companies coming out of Y Combinator, which is a big incubator or accelerator in Silicon Valley these days, are solving problems that people don't want solved or that AI can't actually solve. And that really what people want, kind of the boring and mundane things to be solved for them. So again, things like making a budget or tracking a budget, that's something AI can't do very well. People would like for it to do. There's things like, again, data entry that AI can do very well, that people would like for it to do. And that's the kind of boring stuff that AI companies should be solving if they want to actually make a lot of money and have a lot of implementation. But again, they're usually going for really snazzy and fancy kinds of tasks like designing your logo or taking over all of your ad campaigns and that kind of stuff that people either don't want or that the AI can't actually do. And that's what the Stanford researchers say is behind this trend towards huge investment in AI on the one hand, but relatively limited adoption. Again, like 14% of companies actually using this stuff in a substantive way. And so this reveals what's the wrong way, what's the right way to use AI at work. And the wrong way is to try to use it to solve problems in a totally automated way, like an AI agent doing everything for a person, and to have the AI try to take over creative tasks for that person, the things people find meaningful and they actually like doing. That doesn't work. People won't use the AI. They'll see it as competition. They'll see it as an inferior version of what they could do, and it just won't get implemented. Again, 14% implementation. But the right way to use AI at work is to use it to automate tasks that people don't want to do and that AI is good at doing. And those tend to be kind of data entry, maybe reformatting something, turning an article into a newsletter, writing back to boring emails, organizing budget data, all this kind of stuff. And so there's a different study that actually asked people, this is paralegals in this case, to use AI in two different ways. They broke the paralegals down into two groups. And for one group, they were told, just automate as much of your job as you possibly can. And those people really didn't use the AI at all. Again, they saw it as a threat. They weren't sure what that really meant or how it could actually help them. The second group was told, use the same AI tool, but use this tool to basically do the boring parts of your job, do the parts of your job that you hate for you. And that group apparently implemented the AI tool all the time, and they used it for all kinds of things. And they actually started to be able to do tasks that would have required a law degree previously. So that, in essence, is the right way to use AI at work. It's not about having it replace you or having it do the stuff that you can do, because you can probably do those things better. It's more about having the AI take away the tasks that you hate, to automate the stuff that's boring. And if you can do that, or if you're a manager, if you can instruct your team members to do that with AI, then that's going to be where you're going to have the biggest impact and also the biggest chance that this stuff is actually going to get implemented. Because again, as I shared earlier, if you're just joining me, 14% of companies are actually using AI substantially, even though billions of dollars are being poured into it. So think about, what parts of your job do you hate? What parts are boring? And then can you use AI to automate those away so that you don't have to deal with them? The other thing I want to share here that people have asked for quite a lot is an update on my progress with my AI investing experiment. So this is something that I started a little bit more than a month ago, and feel free to put any questions you have in the chat there. And I basically asked ChatGPT to select stocks, and I would put $500 of real money into those stocks. And it did select a portfolio of 5 stocks, and monitoring these over a course of 6 months. And I have an update today. Again, I did this right around September 1st. Today's October 6th. And I'll show you where my portfolio is at right now. So I put $500 in, and we're now at $620.72. So that is quite a substantial gain, $120 in a little bit over a month on a $500 initial investment. I don't know what the exact percentage gain is there, but it is substantial. So far, so good. I don't know that that will continue, but that's a pretty encouraging early result. Again, feel free to put any questions in the chat. If not, I will end here. And if you have any more questions, you can feel free to send them to me directly. It's tom@gadoimages.com, Tom, T-O-M, at Gado, G-A-D-O, images.com. Happy to answer either in a future video, or if people enjoyed this office hours format, I'm happy to jump back on another live and talk about it here.